keeps on coming back, often worse for wear. But just how has the slasher changed over time? Let's find out now, reanimated. Michael first appears as a murderous 6-year-old in a clown costume who gets tossed into a mental institution. 15 years later, he breaks out, donning his iconic greenish coveralls and a Captain Kirk mask painted white, giving him big eye holes and dyed brown hair that is partially shaved. He's also seen in a spooky ghost disguise. He goes on a Halloween rampage, but before he can finish off his last victim, Laurie Strode, he's shot down. Taking place the same night, in Halloween 2, Michael is stockier, his coveralls are damaged, and his mask is aged with reddish hair. He sets out to finish off Laurie Strode, who happens to be his sister, but he gets shot in the eyes and exploded, clearly burning to a crisp. Halloween 3 follows Dr. Chalice and his way too young partner as they investigate an evil mask manufacturer and his fleet of androids, who plan to use witchcraft to melt kids' heads on Halloween. Oh, and Michael makes a brief cameo on a TV screen. In Halloween 4, a still-alive bandaged Michael awakens from a 10-year coma. He's larger and wears striped coveralls and a less defined mask that has an extended neck, shocked eyebrows, and slicked hair with added sideburns. It also sometimes has tinier eye holes and occasionally turns pink and blonde. After he learns of his sister's death, he sets his sights on her daughter, but is shot and falls down a mineshaft, with his evil spirit inhabiting his niece. But let's ignore that, because in Halloween 5, Michael is nursed back to health by a hermit. His jumpsuit is dirtier, and his mask is now oddly flared with an angrier expression, larger nose, and silky hair. He also goes incognito in a more brutish mask. He continues to hunt his niece, sharing a quick tear with her before being tossed in jail, although a mysterious man in black busts him out. 6 years later, in Curse, Michael wears sleek gray coveralls and a more ghoulish mask with large ears, dark lips, and messy hair. He also sometimes looks slimmer. It's revealed that Michael is controlled by a druid curse to exterminate his family, so he goes after his niece's baby but gets tranquilized and knocked out. Although in the producer's cut, he's instead immobilized by a circle of stones and then stealthily sneaks away. Ignoring the previous 4 films, in H2O, Michael goes on a road trip to find Laurie Strode. He gains height, lacks any burns, wears charcoal-colored coveralls, and multiple masks, including a Halloween 6 mask, a bloated mask, and an awful CGI monstrosity, eventually settling on a mask with revealing eye holes and poofy hair. He goes head-to-head with his sister, but leaves, well, ahead. Although in Resurrection, it's revealed that Michael switched outfits with a paramedic. His new mask has more definition, noticeable makeup, and less frizzy hair. He finally manages to eliminate his sister, and then gets entangled in a web show, although he's taken out with kung fu and exposed wiring. Or is he? But that doesn't matter, because this chicken fried killer is abandoned for a remake series, where Michael appears as a murderous 10-year-old in clown attire. He also dons the signature Michael mask, which has smaller features and thicker hair. Once locked up, he starts wearing papier-mâché masks and grows into a muscle-bound freak. After breaking out, he finds a greasy brown jumpsuit and his now grungy mask. He even recreates the original's ghost look. He goes after his young sister, but is shot multiple times, ending his mayhem. But he's right as rain in the sequel. His mask deteriorates even more, and he incorporates hobo-inspired attire in his ensemble, pretty well ditching his mask. His younger self is also seen, but looks completely different. This time, Michael is led by his ghost mom to again attack his sister, but this bum is shot down by the police. Ignoring all other follow-ups, in Halloween 2018, Michael is again taller, his coveralls are darker, and his mask is boxier with taut hair, no exposed flesh tones, and added aging. He's apparently been locked up for 40 years, but when getting transferred, he breaks free and goes on one of his usual sprees, until he's hit by a car, briefly getting knocked out, which allows his insane doctor to wear the trademark mask. But Michael awakens and nips that twist in the butt. He then faces his now not sister and her family, getting trapped in her burning house. Although in Halloween Kills, he's saved by some helpful firemen. Michael has heavy metal damage, bandaging around his hand, and a Two-Face style burn. He's also seen in a flashback with a de-aged 2018 mask and navy blue coveralls. This time, Michael takes on a mob of angry idiots, with each kill supposedly leveling up his evil power. powers. He then executes Laurie's daughter. In Halloween Ends, a sewer-dwelling Michael is covered in moss. His hand is no longer bandaged, and he's become extremely weak. He apparently manifests his evil into a local outcast who takes on the Michael persona, but fails miserably. When the real Michael comes to retrieve his mask, he's taken down by the remaining Strodes, with the entire town then mulching his remains in a shredder, finishing the shape once and for all. Well, until the next reboot, at least.